Hey, what's going on? Got a lot of action going on in the stock market right now. So I'm gonna check in and go over some trades, go on a new trade I just put in or put on, shall I say, and we're gonna talk about this sell-off and we're gonna talk about this market right after the buffer. S&P futures right now are down 51 handles. We got which is about 1%. If you look over here on the left, you look at my watch list, the Nasdaq futures are down 1 and 33%. Yeah, Dow down about 1%. The Russell is down about 1.5%. Remember, I always say watch the Russell, watch your mid caps or your small caps, and basically nothing is small in this market, but as compared to the S&P 500. So you watch the Russell, and then you'll see it generally. It's a little bit more volatile than the S&P 500. So when it makes its move, then I start looking at other stuff. The Bitcoin futures are down about 1%. Gold basically flat. It's up just a little bit. Got a little bit of green. The bonds have just turned green on the day, and we got the volatility futures up. The VIX is up 13%. We're now looking at a 21 VIX, and the VIX futures is up about almost 6%, we'll call it. So the market was down a little bit further than it was. We got a little bit of a bounce going on right now, which, just basically a pullback. So you got a light pullback in the market right now. Let's see, get back to that. So what I want to talk about is, if you've been following, my little small account challenge I got going on. A trade came off today, basically when the market opened. I had a GTC order on. That's a good till cancel. And I've had two trades so far this year, and two winners, both in the QQQ. So I'm gonna look to the right of the screen. I'm gonna click on the chain analysis. This is the Tastyworks platform. First of all, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. So if you've been following me, you got two trades and you got two winners already. We click up here at the top. We can see our P&L so far for the year. We're up about 72 bucks on the year, 73, just moving around, right? And I'll go over I'm being totally transparent with this. I'm gonna try to start at this account with about 2 grand. We're gonna try to double this bad boy if we can. Turn 2 into 4. If at all possible. Those are high expectations, but we'll see what we can do. So look over here to the right of the screen. You will see the two trades that I've made so far. The first one was both have been vertical spreads. One was a put spread that I purchased it for 80 bucks, sold it for 124. You can look right here. You hover over that green arrow, winner, winner, chicken dinner. The next one was a call spread that I sold. The call spread, if you look and see, I sold it for 114, bought it back for 54 bucks. Well, I paid 54 for it, left me with a total P&L of 60 bucks, right? So that's two winners so far. 2 for 2. So now the next one, what I put on this morning, right? I actually shorted into the hole. You generally don't want to do that, but so you can see this position that I put on. I'm currently down like 13 bucks because the market has bounced a little bit. Might be even better if you're watching this video now. I am not a whatever you want to call it, financial whatever guru. So any trade that you take or follow me into, you can lose. And so you own the trade. I'm not telling you what to do. This is not financial advice. Got to get that disclaimer out of the way. Um, so if we look at we go to the option chain. I'm gonna click on. Um, I have a link in the description where you can open up an account with Tastyworks. I think Tastyworks is the simplest platform and the easiest, and they have the best technology, in my opinion. Right to trade. I've met the CEO of the company before. Seemed like a pretty decent guy. Um, come to the trade tab, and we have the. Now I'm gonna close this up right here, so I want to that way we can see everything over here. Now this is the option chain. This is where it all goes down for options. Now there are two ways you can actually place the trade in curve view right here, right? But I don't like to place the trade in curve view. I do like to look at it once I have it on and analyze it, and we'll do that after I show you the trade. I came out to 39 days. Now that's that sweet spot for me. I'm in the monthly. Now, trading like something like the SPY, which is very, very liquid, I probably could have placed this trade in any expiration that I wanted, and it would have been liquid, and I wouldn't have had any problems, right? But generally, as a rule, I like to stay in the monthlies. The monthlies will be everything else on the chain got a W. See WWW. That means these ones right here in the white. These are your monthly expirations. So I went out to February. 39 days out, right? My sweet spot for selling credit spreads are about 35 to about 65 days for the most part. I'll go anywhere within that range. I probably could have done the 67 days, but I felt like the 39 day was the sweet spot for me. So I came out to February. I sold what is now the 24 Delta. I don't know if it was 24 Deltas when I sold it. It may have been like 22 or 20 because the market moves. But basically, right here at the 477 strike and bought the 482, you actually could get more money right now if you sell it. I only collected a buck 19. So if you were to sell it right now today, you could pick up right about a buck 35, buck 36 for this particular trade. I probably like right now, if I was going to put this on, I wouldn't even put the same one on. Now, if you want to collect more money, more premium, then yeah, you could sell this one. If I was going to do it right now, because I did this earlier in the morning, I probably would come, let's see. Let's see. I will probably come and sell this one, the 479. What the 478 look like? Yeah, I would sell the 479. And I do that. I'm looking for a certain probability of profit, and I'm looking for a certain to collect a certain amount, because then that helps me determine what my break even is or whatnot. Now that right there, those are the keys. You can schedule a one-on-one option session with me through Upwork, which is also the link is also in the will be in the description, and then I actually will work with you one-on-one, or you can just follow whatever I put on, for free. But to get the, exactly, yeah, that would be too long of a video for me to talk about like exactly when I get in, exactly how I get out. So, but I probably would do this one if I was doing it right now, right? But this is the one I have on. And what that basically means is if you go to my position tab, I still have a 69% probability of profit on this trade, even though it's down like 17 bucks right now. I'm not really tripping on that. I do think that the market, it was due for a little bounce, and maybe I should have waited on the bounce to sell the rip. But that's neither here nor there. It's kind of hard to get the time everything, right? So we got a sell off. The VIX went up. We got an increase in volatility. And so I wanted to get in and sell by me selling the SPY, or by me selling options right now. And with the VIX increasing, I'm basically selling like something inflating, right? The price is going up. It's like the PlayStation 5 when it came out, right? the price went up. Wouldn't you want to sell the PlayStation 5 instead of buying it when the price was real high? And that's what I did. And so, if the market is bouncy, you see you got this right here. I could see it even going up and filling the gap, right? But just based on my technical analysis, I just continue to see. I think that the SPY is due for a down move. If we were to look at this on a yearly and then just brought this down, look at it. I mean, you got one big cliff. Let's see if we can draw a trend line. We came down here. Look at this. I mean, I just drew a line. Like, look at that. It looked like a big stair. It looked like that game on what was that? The Price is Right, where the guy be going up the hill and then he'd come down the little climber thing and the little music be going up like do do do. That's how the market look. Look at it. So you would figure, like, if I'm looking at this, all you got to see, I expected a little pullback right here. But I also think that at some point, if it does break this, let's say it breaks this trend line, I expected to pull back here. And if it flags somewhere in here and breaks back down, we're going to get a flush. You get a straight flush, like like ace, king, queen, jack, 10, like you playing poker or something. So that's the reason why I sold there. And I got high implied volatility, right? I'm asking that the market is going to have to beat me, right? I don't have to be 100% correct. You see here's where I sold at 477. So 477 is up here. So the market will literally have to come up to this area, 477 around this area to beat me. Let's let the market beat me. That's the whole point of selling options, right? If I would have bought this option, then directionally I have to be correct. I don't have to be correct with this. It can bounce around in here. It can go down. It can come up some, go back down some more. And I hold it and get paid off of time decay. And that's the trade that I wanted to go over. I went over week 2 for 2 so far in the early 2022. I might as well talk about AMD. I did follow me on Twitter. I think I got my Twitter handle in the notes. I'll put it in there. You can follow me. I put a chart on AMD up so you can go and look and see my analysis on AMD. I put my price target on there and everything. So I ain't going to go over it again. Follow me on Twitter for those. You'll see when I post like charts. And if you want to build a trade around it, and an account, I have an account with a little bit more funds in it. I had purchased a put in AMD. I took that put off today for profit. So I closed out on that. I won't buy options in this account to take a chance on buying like a high value put in such a small account. It'd be hard to come back from that. So we're taking high probability trades in here, selling premium. This is a premium seller's market. This is not a buy the dip market. In my personal opinion, I would not buy any dips at all. Unless they're like, let's say, I take it back, like if you're day trading, right? So this wouldn't have been a bad dip. Let's come in here and let's look at the grid, right? Now this is let's look at the S&P 500. Let's look at the futures. Is it pulled up? It's up here. So what I got pulled up right here, if you look and see, you got these are the micro. So like you got a up, pull back. Let's say you got long right here or right here at this break, and then put your stop here. That's the type of, if you're going to buy a bounce, these are the type of bounces that you buy, like intraday bounces. If you're going to do something intraday and you want to buy a dip, that's cool. But as far as like, if I'm in like investing, like I would not buy anything right here. I personally think we're going to get more sell pressure in the Nasdaq. And so consequently, you say, well, why you sell the S&P 500? Because eventually the Nasdaq will pull the S&Ps with it. because what's in the Nasdaq that's selling is the FANG stocks. You got Facebook down, Apple down, Amazon down. Google's the only one that isn't down. It's a little bit, I would say, flat. It opened down. It actually gapped down, and it's coming up to fill the gap. Same thing with Tesla. Tesla, look at this little. I'm pegging them. Like, I didn't do this today. Like, you go back and look at previous videos. I'm showing you where the gaps are. Those generally where you get the bounces. Now, it wouldn't surprise me to see Tesla bounce a little bit tomorrow. Um, but I do expect for it to continue to go down and take out this low. I'm not 100% on it, but that's what my analysis tells me. But to be honest with you, you don't even have to trade that. To be honest, you got a high IV, you got a 50 IV rank. You could sell some junk up here, sell some junk up here, or sell a put. I would be selling puts if I wanted to get long. If you sell puts in Tesla, you can come way down here and sell puts in Tesla and make money instead of buying these calls. Even if you buy this call and you get the move, you could get some volatility crush, which will decrease the call options unless you're buying leaps. So no near dated calls. And that's just how I will play that. But if you're looking at everything else, AMD getting killed. And I got AMD going all the way down further. You got a little bounce going right now, but I just don't see with all this selling pressure, right? Look at the MACD. Look at it rolling over on the MACD. So I think we're gonna get continued selling pressure in AMD. I think we're gonna get continued selling pressure in Nvidia. Netflix should have already been bailed on Netflix, in my opinion. Netflix is going to hell. It literally is going to hell. It's oversold actually on the RSI, so it's due for a bounce. You may get a little pullback up in the here, and then I think it may chop around and then give you another flush. I got alerts on Netflix. I do maybe plan on doing something in Netflix, not right now though. I think right now the easiest trades, if there is such a thing, is in the ETFs. Staying in the ETFs, the SPY, the Qs, the not so much as the diamonds, the IWM. Uh, you can trade the diamonds. Need to be careful because there is a dividend that they pay out every month. So you got to be careful with your calls when they come in the money. So I would stay in the SPY, stay in the Qs, stay in the IWM. The TLT is liquid. GLD is liquid. You could even let's look at the EEM. EEM, which is the Emerging Markets ETF. You can come in, let's see, you got an IV rank of 33. Got a little chop. So you could come in here and do something. I don't know what would I do in here if I was going to do something. The thing with selling options, you don't necessarily have to be right. So, and it's been between, if we look at, what was this high? 50, what's that? 52 right here back in November. Low of what? Let's call it 47, 52.47. So let's go back to the table. If I wanted to do something in here, it only got basically a $2 expected move in the next 39 days. So you got to get creative. Come in here and sell if you sold the 51s and then sold the 47s, that ain't enough money. You only collect about that strangle and net you $92. Got a 78% chance of getting 50% of that. Maybe want to come closer, come to 50. If you sell the 35 delta, sell the 28 delta, you got a 74% chance of collecting 50% of $122. So that would bring you about $60. That would increase your theta of 2.6. And your beta weighted delta is like 0.55 negative. So that's basically if you this is beta weighting it to the SPY. So you could come in here and do something like that. I don't really like that trade though on the EEM, but I'm just saying sticking with liquid ETFs. Now, one of the if you come over here for the watch list for Tastyworks, they do have something. Let's look at liquidity. So you can come over here at the watch list for liquidity, and we could go to liquid ETFs, and it has them all on here. So these are all the liquid ETFs that you can trade. Something else that they have that I like, and this video gonna go a little longer because I just thought about it. I do want to go over this. We can come over here and look at something like Tasty Hourly Top Equities. So they showing you what's being traded on an hourly basis on their platform. Um, so we got Tesla, of course, is high. You got Nvidia, AMD, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Facebook, Netflix. These are all in my watch list. These are the top stocks that I have on my watch list. Then you got Square, PayPal. You've got Roblox. Let's take a look at Roblox. Roblox getting hammered. It's getting hammered. Like, so any of these, if I'm trading any of these, I'm not getting long them. I'm not getting long. Just my personal opinion. Right here, you got a gap. So you got a little right here. You might get a bounce. Might get a bounce right here. But if you get this bounce, this is like, to me, this is like a day trade or something. You probably could come in here and sell a put spread, maybe. I would have liked to. I like to. So you gotta sell into the strength, right? It's going down. If you're gonna get long, you gotta get long here. See how this for a trade, not to stay in it for a long time. See what it ends with, like today. If it ends with like a little hammer candle, looking like Thor's hammer or a doji, maybe you could come in here, model a trade, but you got earnings. Excuse me, you got earnings on February 14th. So if you trade anything right here, earnings, anytime you have earnings and you trade in the earnings expiration, you have to be aware, you know what you're doing. But if I sold this one, because you're more than likely selling this when you're not, the volatility is going to stay jacked until after earnings. So you got to be careful with that. Let's take a look at what else is on here. Tilray. Did Tilray have its earnings? Look over here. I know Tilray, I think Tilray had their earnings today. We're looking at this. It gapped up. I think it had them this morning before the bell. And it's telling you, because I know it has it today, it's showing you that right there means before the bell. If this little sign was after, it would be after the bell. So Tilray had its earnings. So it gapped up a little bit. Maybe you get a bounce. Maybe you get a bounce. That may not be a bad one to sell or put in. Ivy rank of 29.1. The thing about it, the reason why I would say selling a put, it's only a $7 stock. How much premium would you get out of it? I would sell the 39. You don't get much. You could sell this right here at the money. You're only gonna get about $83 for it. But it only uses up about $345 of buying power. So that's not bad. Instead of buying 100 shares, being out of $700, sell the put, only going to margin you about $344 for selling the put. That's a way of getting long, selling puts to get long. What's another one we could look at? That got the DraftKings. DraftKings doesn't have earnings to February 25th, so this will be a decent one. Got a 72 IV rank, and it's getting killed right now. You come in here and what does a put look like in DraftKings? Sell the 28 Delta. Collect about 135. Now this one I like. You only have a max buying power of $225, and then you're gonna collect a dollar. So basically, that's if you were selling a credit spread, that would be the equivalent of what? risking two to make one, something like that, right? Probability of profit 71%, and probability of making 50% of the profit of this max profit is 83%, which is what I would do. So not a bad put to sell. This isn't a bad trade. We're just looking at, I'm just going through some stuff, just talking out loud. We got DocuSign is down. That's on the top hourly, top equities. So if you believe, now I'm not telling you now, if you're saying, man, I think we're going to get a bounce, this is how I would play these bounces. I would play these bounces by selling puts to get long. And then if you want to own the stock, let's say the stock go past where you sold the put and you get put to stop, you just own the stock, but you own the stock at a discount instead of, you taking in some premium. But then if it bounces up, you can just make that money and keep selling puts, or you can roll the puts out. There are a lot of different things you can do with the puts when you sell them. When you buy them, you got to be right. Apple, of course, Apple is always on that list. Look at Apple. And you got Divergence. Remember what I told you guys? This is one of the reasons why I think the market is going to continue to go down. Right here. The biggest stock we got, Apple. And then you have Divergence. And if you don't know what Divergence is, I'm getting ready to show you what Divergence. Look at the top. You got a top right here. This little M pattern. Look at that. So you got, see that? See how you got a high, low, and then a higher high, right? On the price action. Now, this is just, if you're just trading price action. Now let's look at let's draw another trend line. This is simple technical analysis. That is Divergence. People, come down here on the RSI. You got it on the RSI and you got it on the MACD. Look at that. And this is why I'm bearish. Now, this same Apple, get ready to show you guys something. Let me show you something. Let's see. Bear with me. I'm just making it yellow so you can see it. We'll make sure it show up on the screen. You guys see that? So that what that means is this oscillator, this is called the MACD, moving average convergence divergence. So it measures momentum, right? So the momentum up here, momentum on the stock was already turning to the downside, but the actual price action on the stock was continuing to make higher highs while the momentum was going lower. And then on the RSI, the momentum was going lower. That is what you call divergence. So whenever I see that, and you can see it accelerating to the downside by looking right here at the purple. So I expect it to take this low out. So once it takes this low out, you could take this low out, and then I would expect to get a pullback right back up into here. So a break here, pull back into here. And then at that point, if you get a bearish flag, you're going to get a flush. But either way, I still expect for Apple to take out these lows and to continue the down move in the interim, like in the intermediate, in the near future. So now that's just on Apple, which is the largest stock in the S&P 500, right? 2.81 trillion market cap. Right here, as you can see the market cap of the stock that you have pulled up. So let's check this out. So if that's the case on Apple, now that's Apple. Now let's go and look at the S&P 100. Let's see. What do we have? What do we have here? Apple and the S&P 100. Okay. Let's go look at the Nasdaq 100. What do we have? Apple. So you see, that same stock is in the S&P and is also in the Nasdaq. So that's why I say that. So this is something you can look at. You can look at different, if you understand like correlation between markets, between different ETFs and different baskets of stocks. If you see one doing something, then you can kind of look at the other one, or maybe find one that hasn't yet done it, meaning the Nasdaq has already rolled over. The SPY hadn't necessarily rolled over yet. So I wanted to come over to the SPY and then get a trade in there instead of trading going right back to the Qs. Doesn't mean I won't trade the Qs. I just, if I'm looking at the Nasdaq, it's already down, hit my Fibonacci level and bouncing, right? But if I go to the SPY, it hadn't quite rolled over yet. So I was like, I want to come sell this one, right? And so that's a little bit into my thinking. And once again, we got a nice little bounce going. The market is giving back almost half of what it took away this morning. But we'll see how it finishes at the end of the day. Let's go take a look at the 5 minute on the grid. I'm gonna come to grid. Looking at the 5 minute. Let's get this out of here. This right here is the, don't pay attention to that. When I'm on grid mode, which is right here, which is where you can come trade on the screen. So a lot of times you don't even see this because I don't show it that much, but I can pop this out, hit this arrow, and I put this on my other screen. I have another screen next to this one. And I would normally watch this either on the 5 minute or the 1 minute if I want to do some day trading or trade or scalp some futures or something like that. I will do that then. So now what we can see what this market is doing on an intraday. And so this is the bounce that we got right around down in here, and you got a little bounce. So I'll continue to watch it. If I see anything breaking, or I decide to put any more trades on, then I will come back on and chronicle that trade. Remember, follow me on Twitter if you want to see my charts. I do a lot of charting on Trading View, and so those I can tweet directly from the chart. Now, I don't have that feature. Hopefully, the Tasty Works will put that on here where you can tweet straight from your chart or tweet your trades out. That'll be a real cool addition to the platform. But currently, right now, they don't have that. I don't know any other platform that does have that. I know TradingView has it, because TradingView is more like a Facebook for traders or whatnot, right? I don't trade on it. I just use it to do, tweet from it or something like that. So with that, man, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share this. Into this year, I got 3 trades on here. 2 have been winners, and we're just gonna see what happened, man. So, I'll come back on here if something happened or I have to make a change. I'll go ahead and make the change, but I'll come back on here and talk about the change. And with that, I'm out, guys. Peace.